WildTalkRadio.com.
Theme song!
This is the Firefly Funhouse, and I want to introduce you to some very special friends that I've met along the way.
Hey, this is Adam Copeland, a.k.a. the Rated R Superstar.
Hey guys, this is Renee Paquette.
This is Kane from WWE.
This is WWE Superstar Drew McIntyre.
Hello, this is WWE Hall of Famer, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Hi, this is Bree, and this is Nikki, and we're the Battle Twins.
This is Christopher Daniels, and what I like to do on my off days is listen to the rap, and now you are too.
And it is awesome.
Satisfaction is guaranteed.
It's time to experience the award-winning The Rack.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire!
I love kickball.
I'm back, taking souls and digging holes.
I'm gonna break you, bitch, you hear me?
You can look, but you can't touch.
Ruthless aggression.
With your host,
they've been lying to you. Heroes don't exist. Y'all become addicted to the illusion of what a hero does for you. Have I mentioned that I was once addicted to eating sponges?
Lindsey Ward.
Look at me, woman.
And you can just call me Taker.
Oh my God, it's Taker, 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 Taker. Does Taker hate me? Oh my God, it's Taker.
And she was a wicked, wicked child who spat and swore and chewed tobacco.
I like puppets.
Stickers!
And her producer, Sir Rockin.
My little creatures of the night will now experience the magical art of puppetry. If you smell what the game is playing.
Live on the Wild Talk Radio Network.
We're here. Yowie wowie!
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to The Rack right here on WildTalkRadio.com. Brought to you right by our friends over at MBG Films. Check them out at YouTube.com/MBG1211. And if you're listening to us over on WildTalkRadio.com, RackRadioShow.com, or directly on Twitch, thank you so much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. If you're on Twitch and you happen to have a Prime Gaming sub available that you can use to hear for free for 30 days, all you have to do is hit the little purple button down at the bottom of the screen and you can subscribe for free. It is that simple. You can also subscribe the regular way, follow the channel, hang out and chat, or listen to the archive. We are happy to have you any way we can get you. I'm your host, Lindsey Ward. Joining me, as always, is the ever-faithful producer / co-host / handyman, Sir Rockin.
The Royal Rumble season. It's Royal Rumble week.
It's Rumble. And with so much more.
I just want to talk about the Royal Rumble chat. Tweet us at Wild Talk Radio, at Rack Radio Show. Lindsey Ward, come to WildTalkRadio.com, RackRadioShow.com, or Twitch.tv/WTLF. Later in the show, I'm going to tell you the exact reason why, if WWE history is to be proven correct, Cody Rhodes will win the Royal Rumble. And then win the title at WrestleMania. I have the facts to back it up.
He does. He has the receipts.
I did research and stuff, so, you know. Yeah.
Professionalism on this show. Anyway, we have a bunch of, and I do mean a bunch of stuff to talk about. It has been a news-filled week outside of the Royal Rumble. We are not talking AEW or any other promotions tonight. We are just talking WWE. No, for the record, we are not talking about The Thing. So, you know, just to clear the air.
We're not talking about Mr. McMahon.
We're talking about everything else that happened this week, but not that, because we're waiting to see where that goes.
Once he's removed from the board, then it's talkable news.
Yes. Until then, you can find everything you need to know on Twitter. Anyway, moving on.
Even things you don't want to know.
So many things you don't want to know. Get the eye bleach. So let's jump into the news brought to you by our friends over at MBG Films, youtube.com/MBG1211. And that is that WWE has announced the first major deal for their TV/broadcast rights starting in January of 2025. And they're making a big leap for the first time in, I think, 25 to 30 years. Raw is leaving cable and really broadcast altogether. Because WWE and Netflix have announced a multi-year deal to bring WWE RAW to the provider in January of 2025.
The first time in 30 years, it'll be off cable. It's been on USA Network since 2005, because there was a 5-year gap when they left.
Yeah.
From 2000 to 2005, before they were back. Since starting in 1993, they were on USA Network. They've been within the NBCU family for that long. And WWE is still in the NBC universe family, with SmackDown airing in 2024 in October. But Raw's leaving cable. It's going to streaming. This was the WWE plan. We'll tell you the specific deal in a second. But WWE wanted 3 things this go around. Broadcast television, you want broadcast television, cable television, and streaming.
Okay.
They have it all.
They got it all.
Because SmackDown's on cable, NXT's on broadcast TV, now Netflix.
It will be interesting to see what happens with the Peacock deal, but this deal has the potential to be worth $5 billion with a B dollars over 10 years. That's $5 million per year.
500 million.
Or, excuse me, $500 million per year. And Netflix does have the option to opt out after 5 or extend it for another 10 years.
And a lot of money is up. There's like $2 billion up in the first couple of years or something. I don't know. Whatever. There's a lot of money up front too.
Now, this is where it's really kind of key for at least the beginning. The Netflix deal isn't just the US TV rights. Raw will be on Netflix in the US, Canada, UK, Latin America, and with other countries and regions to be added as time goes on. Basically, when their TV deals in other nations expire, they're not going to renegotiate the rights for Raw. They're going to move it all onto Netflix, which makes the value of the deal go up even more.
There's nothing. They won't negotiate. They will they have the option to add.
Yeah. But it's likely that's what they're going to do.
If the money's right.
SmackDown and NXT outside of the US will also be moving to Netflix as well, along with the PLEs and a series of future projects in 2025. That's outside of US. The PLEs, I think, right now are still staying on Peacock.
Peacock through to 2026.
So...
What one deal you missed? Raw will be staying on Sony and India. That's not moving. Because that's a big money deal.
Yeah, but this spells the official end of the WWE network outside of the United States. They had still kept it going for all the international countries, even though they had shut it down here. This means officially that they will be sunsetting the network as a whole, and it will be going away.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
So all the content will be moving to Netflix. In overseas markets.
And then Raw will reportedly no longer be on USA Network after September 30th, and an announcement of where the show will be airing starting in October is to be determined.
That's an interesting topic right there. Where do they go? What do they do? Because you can't shut down Monday Night Raw.
Nope.
And you can negotiate a deal with USA Network to extend it, but apparently that's not going to be a thing, because they have to move on. If they're going to replace something in that time slot, they're going to have to do it for the fall. So
yeah, and that's September 30th of this year, by the way.
Yeah, of this year, at the end of September when the contract runs out. So whenever that first Raw would be, in October, would be on a different platform. My gut says Peacock for 2 months or 3 months, but I don't know for sure. It could be a YouTube exclusive. They can't. I don't.
They can't put Raw on YouTube.
I can't see them moving Raw to digital. I mean, you're moving it digital only, but
I can't see Netflix being down for Raw going on there for 3 months. I'm sure they could work something out with either USA, Peacock, and I'm sure that's what they're working on now.
I assume it's going to be Peacock that gets it, and maybe it'll stream on YouTube and Peacock. Maybe it'll be a combination of.
Therein.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm all for this. And actually, one last thing before we talk about this whole topic. Nick Khan says that they are opening to move Raw to a different day, not Fridays, but is very willing to stay on Monday nights. So it could still be Monday Night Raw, but it may not be.
Yeah, so he listed multiple reasons why, they could move in an interview. Like Monday Night Football and all, the juggernaut, yada, yada, yada. But then it's still, at the same point, it was like, but we also do big ratings in the demo up against football. So we could still stay on Mondays. It all depends what Netflix wants and how they want to structure the audience. All right, so this is an interesting move. This is a great move for a lot of people. I had a friend whose father came to their work and was all excited about how he can watch Raw on Netflix, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Like for Canada now, you have a spot. That's what's the weird thing about it. It's like this is just not Raw U.S. rights. This is everything.
What's really great is that for international, it's the PLEs. And you might have to pay a little bit more because Netflix, depending on your location, is going to be more expensive than the WWE Network. I don't know what the prices were internationally.
I don't even know what the price right now of Netflix is.
I know what I pay for it, so it's a little bit more expensive than what the network was here in the U.S. when they shut it down. But it's basically they're getting the same deal as what they had on the network, maybe for a little bit more money, but you're, in addition to getting the PLEs, you're also getting Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. So you're getting everything for that price.
You're getting Netflix though.
And Netflix, yes. You get the benefit of Netflix, but if you're not into Netflix, which I don't know really a lot of people who aren't at this point, then it's still a really good deal. What I'm curious to see how they're going to pull off is the live aspect of this, because Netflix is all pre-generated content that you can just basically binge watch.
They've had some interesting moments with their live
but I'm
programming.
I'm curious to see how the live will work.
Because I think the Chris Rock special went well. There was a reality show thing that did not go so well. But again, that's the one thing that's different than any other thing, like the Chris Rock special or a reality show thing going live. WWE is used to producing the content. It's not Netflix. A lot of that stuff was a Netflix produced thing. This is WWE still producing their content and just licensing it to Netflix. So if you get them the location and the uplink, the satellite, they'll be fine. The first episode may be an interesting experience, but I think overall it will be a great move. Matt brings up Peacock. You're paying for Netflix and Peacock. You get drop cable. A lot of people could do that. For me, Peacock is included in cable, and so is Netflix. I pay like $4 extra for Netflix. To multiple things.
Yeah.
Standard Netflix with ads and Canada is $1.50 more than the network price.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, and it's Lomans brings up this is probably the first step in maybe them to start offering like them being Netflix, like live TV, like Hulu, YouTube, and etc. Yeah, probably they're making that jump because Netflix itself is, and that's what makes this deal very interesting, is that Netflix itself is in a little bit of trouble. Things are not going so hot for them, so the fact that they're willing to shell out $5 billion or more for WWE is pretty big.
This is their next expansion.
Yeah.
Doing live content. I don't think it'll be like live TV like Hulu or YouTube, but they could start offering live programming if this is successful, because they can then start bidding for your NBA and your football, not this go around, but next go around, going like, hey, we now have the infrastructure to do live sports.
Yeah,
and that becomes a generation. And for all the people who complain about the Peacock game for the playoffs, Netflix playoff game, it could happen. Amazon has stuff.
You know what, honestly?
Netflix could get it too.
Amazon having the Thursday night games I've actually really enjoyed them having it. Because for me, for my office, when I'm up in my office, I have to use the streaming app for Xfinity, which is a piece of shit. So the fact that they've had it on Peacock or they've had it on Amazon, and those apps were infinitely better than what the Xfinity app does for cable or even for my cable box because it's jacked up. I'm okay with that. I know that's not everybody, but I'm okay with it potentially being on something that's going to be a little bit more consistent in terms of it working. What I would also be curious about is the archive. The biggest thing about Raw and SmackDown and really all WWE programming outside of the PLEs is that you have to wait, 30 days?
30 days for it to be on Peacock, but I think it's next day on Hulu.
I think. So it's like, is Netflix going to become next day? Because that's going to be really big.
I would assume so. They can't announce it yet because they're under contract with Hulu for a year, I think. Because they never really extended it, like announced an extension with them. I think they agreed to sink it one more year. But I would expect next day rights go to Hulu because that's, if you miss it live, then there's nowhere to watch it. And if you miss it and start it on delay, I think it's going to be something where they get the archive of it starting with January 1st or whatever of the first episode of Raw.
Yeah. This is all, there's a lot of moving parts on this that we're not sure about, but it's an exciting prospect. And I really do love the fact that it's going to be on Netflix. Because again, it's the cool thing is people have Netflix on their phone, they have Netflix on their tablets, they have Netflix on their TVs.
Remotes are built in. Remotes have Netflix buttons.
You can just pull up Netflix from anywhere and watch Monday Night Raw. And that's what's going to make it very, very game-changing in terms of audiences, because Raw being on USA, it wasn't necessarily limiting because, again, you can pull up the streaming apps for your individual networks or your individual providers, depending on who you have, and you can watch it on your devices, but it's a big pain in the butt because you have to pull up the streaming app, and then you have to go to USA Network, and then you have to make sure it's working, and you have to make sure you're in the right time frame or else it won't pull it up, but you can go to the channel, but then you have to go through the channel guide. With this, you hit the Netflix button, you go into Netflix, you find Monday Night Raw, you hit another button, and you're in. This is going to be big for their audience.
What's interesting, speaking of the audience, when to watch it is, will it be live around the world?
I don't know. Maybe.
I assume it would be, but then it's then they have to have the rights because no one, if it's Raw's live in the UK at 1 a.m., not everyone's watching at 1 a.m. in the UK for Raw. They would watch it the next day. So you would assume they would get the rights for it.
The only thing I can see with that is that they maybe do a delayed release, but that seems overly complicated.
Because, it's very overly complicated because you're going to just go into Netflix and just hit Raw live and watch it.
Yeah, and it's the thing is I don't think many people tolerate, especially with Netflix, I have to wait 30 days if I miss this. Oh, that's some crap. Because at least with Xfinity, and I'm just using Xfinity because that's what I have, still go in the app, and you can still pull up the latest episode of Raw and way if you miss it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you have to wait 30 days. There is a pretty much instant archive through Xfinity. Now it takes it longer to hit Peacock, but that's kind of what people are used to now. At least I am. So there will be an expectation of that for Netflix. And I think that's what
it's going to be interesting.
It will be interesting, and I think they're going to get it. I think they have to get the next day archive. They have to. There's just no way.
And I think they're going to. I think it's more Hulu's under contract, and you can't.
Yeah, you can't say that part. But what I'm very curious about now is where does SmackDown? We know we're NXT and CW, but where does SmackDown go? It's not staying on Fox. We know that.
No, it's been announced. It's USA Network It's USA Network. It's been announced.
When was it announced?
2 months ago, we did it on the show.
Oh, I don't remember that. Never mind. It's on USA.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on USA Network. That was the first one that came out.
See, I was waiting for SmackDown, and I was because I don't remember them announcing SmackDown. A lot has happened in 2 months.
Yeah, that's been months ago. It was October, November it came out. Yeah, it's not moving. No one said it's moving to Tuesday. There's been no announcement that it's moving. So anyone who's saying it's moving, it has not been. There's no schedule. But
you know what? They could move it to Tuesdays, and I would be really happy about that because them having it on Fridays has absolutely sucked for me. Because I know it's not all about me, but it is all about me. I go drinking on Friday nights. I haven't watched SmackDown consistently since it moved.
No, Nick Khan's never said anything's moved. There's been no announcement that anything's moved. They have what people got confused with what he said was starting October 1st that their USA has SmackDown. That's called when the contract starts, not when the show starts.
Actually, what they could do is to fill the Raw slot, they put SmackDown in the slot and then Raw move. That's what they could do.
That defeats the whole point of moving away from football.
I'm just saying, you said
and no, it would be USA Network. USA Network's not going to replace Raw with SmackDown on Monday because it's Monday Night SmackDown. It's not. WWE
what else do they have?
They'll find something because
what? LaFemme Nikita?
They're going to get sports of some sort. They're bidding on sports.
We'll see if they get it.
But they're going to have sports of some sort because they're going to have hockey in the fall. They had Tuesday night hockey or Wednesday night hockey or whatever it was. They'll have hockey in that spot on Mondays.
Do they play hockey on Mondays?
They play hockey 7 days a week.
I didn't know. I don't watch the hockey.
Hockey is hockey like basketball and baseball. Happens on any day of the week.
Okay. Well, it's like football has specific days.
I know football has specific days, but football is also on Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays,
yes,
and
but
Friday.
I know that.
And a Black Friday.
And a Black Friday, because why the fuck? Yeah, Thanksgiving weekend football is weird because it's every day. It's like, wait, I'm not used to this.
So that's Netflix.
Yeah, that's the Netflix deal. In other news, Kevin Patrick has had a bad day. He was first removed as the SmackDown commentator earlier in the week with replacement announced, and then unfortunately it was announced this morning that he was released by WWE, which makes me sad because I like Kevin Patrick. I thought he was fun.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy, and he just didn't work out. That's the best way to put it. Yeah, Lamans. It wasn't. That's just the starting day of the contract. But he had some issues on Raw. They tried to move into SmackDown. They had Michael Cole babysit. Then gave him a couple weeks on his own and just sort of.
It never clicked.
He struggled some. He's good, but he's not it. They've had it. They've had people. They had Tom Phillips, who was great, who's now working for TNA Wrestling. He's great. He should have been the guy getting the second lead, but he was always replaced by the Mauro Ranallos and whoever else came in. And whoever else they tried in the COVID era.
A bunch of people.
He should have been the guy. I don't
think Mauro comes back.
No, Mauro doesn't. No.
No, that bridge is well and truly burnt.
And Mauro doesn't want to do it. He had his run. You don't need him. You have other people. Vic Joseph should be your SmackDown guy.
Yeah.
And then you put the next guy in waiting in NXT with Booker. Vic Joseph should be your guy on SmackDown. Vic Joseph has earned SmackDown or earned Raw. Whatever you want to do. Whichever is your flagship, you put Cole on into 2025. You put Vic Joseph in the second lead on the other show. So he would be SmackDown because Cole should be on Raw on Mondays on Netflix. He should be the voice of WWE. But Vic Joseph should be the next one. For now, I think Cole's going to do it through WrestleMania.
Poor Michael Cole. He's trying so hard to retire and he just can't do it.
He really is. But I think you're going to put Cole, at least this weekend, Cole's going to do it. I would put Cole there through WrestleMania. And then when they hit the reset after WrestleMania, because that's what they like to do with announcers, you put Cole on Raw, you put Vic Joseph on SmackDown, you put the guy doing...
Graves.
No,
we have Graves and Barrett.
Level Up. Whoever the guy is, the lead on Level Up is, put him on NXT, on the main show. And let him still do Level Up. Or you put Byron on NXT. Because Byron could do...
Byron!
I mean, Byron does backstage and main event still. So
I know, but Byron and Corey were so good together.
Corey's not doing NXT.
I'm not talking about... I'm talking in general.
No, you need a third for them. Because they get too much into it with each other.
Okay,
you still need a third.
You put them on Mondays with Cole.
Yeah, but they want 2 people announced teams. They're not going back to 3 at this point.
You don't know that.
That was kind of the thing. No, Byron's not play-by-play, but Byron is play-by-play for main event, but not for Raw or SmackDown. So Kevin Patrick's out.
Unfortunately, but best of luck to Kevin Patrick because he's apparently going to just go right back to soccer.
He's been doing soccer. He's been doing soccer and will continue to do it.
Yeah, and he's very, very good at soccer, so he will continue to come back. You know what? Dude, come back to Atlanta. We'll take you back because that's where he got hired from. He got hired from Atlanta United, so please come back. Maybe it will help the team. Moving on. Some exciting news for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. It was announced on Monday or Tuesday that The Rock has officially joined the board of directors for TKO, meaning he's going to sit at the head of the table.
He's not the head of the table, but he's going to be at the table. I don't think he's sitting at the head on this one, but with what happened today...
Well, he made the joke.
With what happened today, I mean...
You never know with what happened today. In I guess, compensation for joining the board, number one, he gets the ownership of the name The Rock. He officially has it, the trademark and everything for it, which is really, really cool for him. He was super excited about that. And I think there was always a question between you and I of whether he owned it or not. And apparently he didn't. Apparently WWE held on to it. So he gets ownership of that. He will also receive 30 million in shares, which is about 400,000 shares in TKO stock, which will get distributed over the next couple of years based on different benchmarks.
Yeah,
and
so he's going to gets a bunch up front, and then if he hits a certain benchmark, it gets to go a few more million and a few more million depending on things. And I would assume he's going to hit all his benchmarks.
Oh yeah, not much money sitting on the table. Yeah, he's going to hit it. And then he's now licensed the name back to WWE for the next 10 years. So that's another revenue stream for him to get money back on the trademark he just got. So now to use him in video games and everything like that, he has to license the name back. So he's going for action figures, merch, and whatever. He'll now continue to get the royalties, but he gets a more bigger percentage of royalties because it's his name. He owns it rather than WWE owns it because he's been working with Ari Emanuel for a while to talk about it, and here's the deal, and wants to do the thing because they're about building stars and brands and whatever. So, and The Rock is not a bad person to be a business partner with.
He's not a bad person to be a business partner with, so he'll be able to be in everything, including WWE 2K24,
which has been announced.
It has been announced. We got some stuff. Let's talk about it.
We got some stuff. So we had 3 stars that are going to be your cover stars. I'm going to go down them as per edition.
Mm-hmm.
So, in no surprise to anybody making the cover of the standard edition is one Cody Rhodes.
Whoa.
And this was a goal for him. He was very excited. This is going to be a really long show. Just buckle up. And the covers are really sick looking. They did a nice job on them. So for your standard edition, it will be available on March 8th at $59.99. For the previous gen and current gen is $69.99. Lol. There is a pre-order bonus where you get Undashing Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, and Superstar Billy Graham along
Dusty
with
Rhodes. Dusty.
Dusty Rhodes. Superstar Billy Graham along with My Faction cars for the Mattel Bruised Cody Rhodes and Pharaoh.
So he gets his dog in the game and a card for him.
I mean, that's pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
No word on Brandy.
No word on Brandy, no.
No, I don't think she will be in it. But that's your standard edition. On your deluxe edition, we have 2 cover superstars in Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Well deserved, well earned. Congratulations to Bianca on being the first African American woman on the cover of the 2K games for WWE. What about Dustin? I don't think he's in it unless you mod him.
You could download him in Creative Creations. We'll talk about.
But for the deluxe edition, you get everything that I said above for the standard. It will be available at $99.99. And it includes the pre-order Nightmare Family Pack, along with the season pack. Season pass, 5 DLC packs, My Rise Mega Boost, and Supercharge, and more My Faction stuff.
Which is all the My Faction cards and boost things that they like to put out there.
Yeah, so you can get that. Same date, March 8th.
No, this one 5th.
This one's the 5th? You don't have the date in there.
I think this one's the 5th. I think the 2 Deluxe and Legends versions are 3 days early. Yeah, they're 3 days early.
And then finally, we get the 40 years of WrestleMania superstars, which are the Legends of WrestleMania.
Which is an awesome looking cover, which Austin, Shawn, Taker, Cody, Connor, Hogan,
Becky. Charlotte, I think, is on there.
Charlotte's on there. Yeah, they're all on there, which is
pretty
very
exciting.
Cool. $119.99 for the 40 years of WrestleMania. But you get everything.
Yep.
You get everything plus more.
Plus more. So you get the deluxe edition, you get the standard edition, everything that comes with them. But you also get the 40 years of WrestleMania pack featuring Macho King Randy Savage from 6, Rey Mysterio from Mania 22, Triple H from Mania 30, Charlotte from Mania 33, and Rhea Ripley from Mania 36, along with the instant unlocking of showcase characters and WrestleMania 40 Arena that is available after launch.
Okay, I want to talk about that really quick. That's big.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's never been done.
Nope.
Because in all video games for WWE, you have to wait till the next year to get the current year's arena for WrestleMania. Sometimes a year and a half, depending on when games come out. So the fact that you're gonna get the current WrestleMania arena in the
before WrestleMania?
No, not before WrestleMania. It'll probably be after WrestleMania, but it will be before next year's game, so the game isn't outdated completely. That's big.
Dude, that's huge.
That's a cool addition. I would expect, because they can't put in the game until after you see it. So once you see it, then they can build it. So I would assume a month to 6 weeks after WrestleMania comes out.
But what if that's how they did the reveal for the WrestleMania set? They put it in 2K24.
They could.
That would actually be really cool.
They could.
That's the reveal.
But the fact that it's going to be in game later, so you don't have to wait for someone to build it and it's not actually correct, and you can recreate your WrestleMania from this year in the current gen, and not wait a whole year. So I would assume it becomes a thing going. If this becomes a thing going forward, it's a good thing to have.
Mm-hmm. And it also shows that they share the plans with 2K, so they've known at least for a year what it's going to look like.
You would hope.
You would hope, but they would need some leeway time to create it and put it in.
That's why I'm giving them 4 to 6 weeks after WrestleMania to put it in. I don't think they know it.
No, I bet they've already got it. Because they have the build plans, because they have to get everything built for Mania. So there's probably a whole blueprint set up and ready to go for it, and they can share that with and all the drawings and all of that with 2K and be like, this is what we're shooting for.
Right, and they can modify it as they go.
Yeah, but to build the arena, because it depends on if they're going to use the standard arena that's in the game or if they're actually going to match what the stadium will look like when they're in Philly.
No, I think it's going to be their generic stadium with the Mania set. That's what it usually is.
Is it going to come with snowballs?
No, but it will come with 2K Showcase of Immortals, featuring the WrestleMania's greatest moments of all time. 21 matches, covering 40 WrestleManias. 160 in Canada.
That's a lot of money.
Holy moly. That's expensive, Keish.
That's a lot of money, dude, for a video game. Why is it so expensive? It's a digital copy. Why is a digital copy $160? I mean, why is it $119.99? Questions.
It's because they like to charge money. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah,
I understand completely.
So yeah, 2K Showcase Immortals is one of the new features. It's their showcase mode for the year. But they're bringing back new match types, Lindsay.
They are. First of all, we're getting a special referee. She's very excited.
Yeah, special referee mode, an ambulance match, which is brand new.
A casket match.
I don't remember if there's been a casket match or not, but that's cool.
It's been a minute since it's been in.
Yeah,
because I think maybe when they were with Ukes, there might have been one.
Have been one, but it's been so long I don't remember. And a gauntlet
because I think
match.
when they did the Undertaker version, there
may have been. But so there's a gauntlet match, which, if you remember, beat the streak.
Magics.
I like gauntlet matches, so hopefully it's something like that. So that's gonna be very cool. Backstage Raw has been updated as well.
You can now have 4 people.
And a working elevator.
And breakable control room glass, and able to throw sodas and other weapons. You could throw things now!
You could throw things, catch things, and throw them back at your opponents.
And chuck them through a window. I mean, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. We got some upgrades, including super finishers, which takes 3 finishers to do. So, for example, the super finisher is Cody Rhodes' 3 crossroad thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's an example of a super finisher. There's a trading blow mini game where you do the boo yeah punches. You can now top rope dive onto groups, double title matches, And more, including 7 real-life referees added to the game. No more generic referees.
No, all the referees, I believe, have been scanned. I know some are very, very, very excited about this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a huge honor for them. They think it's very cool. You can thank Fight Forever for that.
I think you, I think you thank them for that one.
There's my GM updates, new brands, match types, titles, more drama, talent scouts, trading is enabled, contract management, and a new superstar journey. So that's getting an update.
Yeah, so you can earn XP and stuff and upgrade things. So they're expanding it out, which is I like.
Yeah, it's just another thing to do in the game. Universe mode, which is getting new cutscenes and support for new stipulations, including loser leaves town stipulation, which is exciting. Because they don't do that one a lot. I mean, obviously, it's loser leaves town. It's whoever's getting, like their contract's up or they're getting fired or something. But it's there.
They're at least adding something to universe mode, which never really gets much love.
Still no wrestling wedding though. Sad. And finally, the creation suite is getting new parts for the arena, interesting superstars, along with an added creator ref, so you can make your own ref, and you can make your own sign. Please keep it clean, y'all. Keep it clean.
They won't keep it clean.
I know they won't keep it clean, but I'm throwing it out there. Just please behave, y'all.
They won't. They're not going to keep it clean.
This is why we can't have nice things.
They're going to get rid of it because you're going to make weird signs.
So, those are all the updates to WWE 2K24. It looks like it's going to be a really good game.
Stay tuned for WWE 2K24 content coming to a Twitch channel near.
Ding.
Speaking of WWE 2K stuff, tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern, we're gonna do simulations of the Royal Rumble right here on Twitch. So be here tomorrow.
I may or may not be sober.
At 10, right after SmackDown, we're gonna simulate some. We got 4 matches to simulate, so we're gonna simulate and watch and talk, have some fun,
and just enjoy ourselves.
So be here tomorrow for 2K content.
So with that, we're going to take our first and only break of the evening.
Yes.
And when we come back, we are going to be previewing the Royal Rumble, which is Saturday night on the Peacocks. You don't want to miss it. So you're listening to The Rock right here on WildTalkRadio.com, and we'll be right back.
Adrenaline in my soul, every fight out of control. Do it all to get them off their feet. Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home.
Chat, say it.
Are you following us on twitch.tv/WTR live? Do you have Amazon Prime? If so, you can link it to your Twitch account and subscribe to our Twitch channel for free with Twitch Prime. It's the easiest way to help support us for free.
Like what you hear? Subscribe to The Rack on Apple Podcasts. Just search for The Rack Radio Show. And while you're there, leave us a review and tell us your thoughts on your favorite show on a Thursday night.
Every Sunday night, the evolution continues with Wrestle Talk Radio, giving you all the latest happenings in sports entertainment. With the intern, the producer, the original Tim Stein, and sometimes, a K-Sheep. It's WTR Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Mountain, only on the Wild Talk Radio Network.
Every Monday night, once Monday Night Raw ends, the Raw post show goes live.
You want to hear a story? Give me a hell yeah.
Join Lindsey and Sir Rockin as they give their opinions on what they liked, what they didn't like, and what left them completely confused. It's the Raw Post Show. Monday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern. Live on the Wild Talk Radio Network.
And that's the bottom line. Go Stone Cold Simpson.
Did you know you can use support a creator code ROCKNSOCK in the Fortnite item shop? That's ROCKNSOCK in the Fortnite item shop. That's a hashtag ad, because we are a hashtag epic partner.
This is WWE superstar Drew McIntyre, and you are listening to the Rack Radio Show on Wild Talk Radio.
And welcome back to The Rack right here on WildTalkRadio.com, brought to you by our friends over at MBG Films. Check them out at YouTube.com/MBG1211. And if you're listening to us over on RackRadioShow.com, WildTalkRadio.com, or directly on Twitch, thank you so much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. If you're on Twitch and you have to have a Prime Gaming sub available, you can use it here for free for 30 days. All you have to do is hit the little purple button down the bottom of the screen, and you can subscribe for free. It is that simple. You can also subscribe the regular way, follow the channel, hang out and chat, or listen to the archive. We are happy to have you any way we can get you. And with that, I believe the long portion of the show may be done. I don't know. To see.
We'll see.
We are going to be...
We'll see.
It depends how long we go. It's a 4-match card, but we are going to be talking about the Royal Rumble, which airs on Saturday on the Peacocks in the U.S. and the WWE networks. I can talk overseas as well as on pay-per-view.
By the way, Chad, here's your numbers in case you missed your numbers.
10. I got 10.
You got 10.
I got 10.
I just like that Keishi and his son.
Keishi, how much did you pay him? How much? How much money did you give Rock to get that?
Bookend it. So that's
like, how did you do that? I want to know.
It's pretty good. I kind of like how that worked out. But as a reminder, chat, the Royal Rumble week continues on. As mentioned, the Royal Rumble simulation is tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Rack reviews the Royal Rumble after the show ends, and WTR Sunday night will round it out this Sunday, reviewing the Royal Rumble.
So we're going to start with the lower matches, and then we're going to go up into the Rumbles, and kind of talk about them at the same time. I think that's going to be best.
Mm-hmm.
So, unless they add anything, this will be your card. So, starting off with a singles match for the United States Championship, you have Logan Paul being challenged by Kevin Owens, and there was an altercation filmed in the PC where Logan was training and Kevin confronted him. My God, an actual wrestling angle. Holy shit.
In the midst of all the stuff that happened today, they put out a wrestling angle that will be swept under the carpet because no one really paid attention because of things. But yeah, it was shot. It was cool. It was good. They had to be separated by other talent because Logan was training because they want to get their hands on each other after the last few weeks on SmackDown. They've done a really decent job at putting together this match. I'm feeling it's going to be very good. I feel like it wasn't in the parking lot. Yeah, it was inside the PC part. I feel like Logan has something special planned.
I mean, they could still do something in the parking lot.
Yeah, but I think with William Regal back, he was back on TV this week.
The year is up.
He named Ava as the new general manager. On the day her father gets the board position, she gets named general manager. Too funny.
Yeah, shocking how that happens.
Even though it was planned, it's just funny how that one just sort of worked. Well, we're gonna be talking NXT next week, so everyone be prepared. Since this is a 4-match show, I think they're gonna get some time to sort of do some stuff. So they're not gonna have to rush through anything. They're gonna get their 20 minutes to go out there and put on a show. And because they're in a big stadium, they can do something. They can do really cool things and then have like a really good match. I don't think I don't think Kevin wins, but I think he will go down fighting, as Kevin Owens usually does.
I love Kevin. I adore Kevin. I think this has been a fantastic feud. I would actually like to see this continue past Royal Rumble, and possibly take it to Chamber if Logan's planning to go to Australia. I don't know if he is or not. I don't know how committed he is. But we're going into a time where they need to pull out their big guns, their attractions, their money makers, and no offense to Kevin Owens, but he is not that. They put the title on Logan Paul for visibility. He's a name, he's a celebrity. I know people care for him, and that's fine. I don't personally care for him, but he's somebody that you can send out to the press. He can put it out on his YouTube channel. And with you heading into Elimination Chamber and heading into WrestleMania, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me to take that title off of him heading into those events. Like, this is your high publicity time.
Mm-hmm.
This is when you need your big guns out. And so to basically take Logan Paul out and whip him out, so to speak, and have him out there, that's what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
Unless Logan is not going to be at WrestleMania. That's the only reason I can see why you would take the title off of him, is if he's not going all the way through to Philly.
He's going to be.
He's committed to Philly, so for that reason I say it stays on Logan Paul.
Yeah.
But at some point, I can see it going to someone like Kevin once he's done.
I have another man who it's going to go to. Yeah.
Maybe.
I think that's WrestleMania. Yeah. But yeah. Logan Paul tains. April. Does Kevin Owens win? It is decidedly so.
Wheel of Fun?
Wheel of Fun. The recently just now rebuilt Wheel of Fun. Hold on. Making sure. Yeah, you should be able to hear this? No.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear it?
I can hear it. I don't know if they can. I can. Logan Paul.
You guys didn't hear it. They didn't hear it. Okay. They don't have that one. Okay. Wrestler 1. We can hear it. Okay, cool. Wrestler 1. I got you guys for the next spin.
Okay, so up next, defending his title in a fatal 4-way, we have Roman Reigns with Paul Heyman taking on Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and LA Knight.
Yeah.
For the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Remember, use those biddies to get the uwu.
500.
You know, you gotta pay for your sounds.
Well, that sound.
That sound in particular. I know they're not going to. I know they're not. It's LOL Rowan wins on this, because they're not going to take the title off of him. It doesn't make sense to do it right before WrestleMania, not after, like, to end the 2-year streak at the Royal Rumble, or the 3-year streak, or however long it is at this point. It doesn't make sense to do it at Rumble. It just doesn't. Like, there's no reason to. However, for the lulz alone, to put it on, like, someone like Randy or AJ would be amazing. But as I pointed out with Logan Paul, again, it's WrestleMania season. It's Royal Rumble. You pull out your big guns for this. I don't see the title coming off Roman. But it is worth noting, and it is worth mentioning, that Roman does not have to be pinned to lose the title. He doesn't. Like, you could have any of the other pin any of the other person, and Roman loses that championship.
That is all accurate statement.
So you can protect Roman Reigns, especially considering the fact that the bloodline is kind of in shambles right now. You can protect Roman by having somebody else pin another person. And with the caliber of individuals that is in this match, that is entirely a plausible situation. Like, they're putting enough doubt, at least with the names that I'm seeing in my mind, that it's like, well, but they could.
They could.
Like, that's the thing. They could. Especially if a certain Brahma Bull is looking at, teaching his little cousin a lesson. Well, you don't need a title involved in that mania, do you? And you could have somebody else, like a Randy Orton or an AJ Styles or even a Knight, less likely, carrying the title into WrestleMania. Well, Cody wants to face Roman for the title, but that doesn't mean he's gonna get it.
He gets what he wants. But we'll talk about him later. You do not end 1,300 days with someone else taking the pin.
I know that.
That just wastes all the effort and time and all the work you put into building close to 1,300 days coming up shortly for Roman Reigns to be your Universal Heavyweight Champion.
I agree with you so wholeheartedly on that, but I'm just going to point out who broke the streak.
Well, he's not in this
They
match.
threw away 20 years worth of streak for the sake of Brock Lesnar.
I get that.
So,
but this is different.
Okay.
Different person in charge. This is different person in charge. This is no longer that person's thing. No, but they're not gonna. Yeah, he's not gonna also call. I don't think Dwayne would cost him here, especially in a 4-way, because this is nothing to. This match in particular has nothing to do with Dwayne. Dwayne doesn't need to be involved in this thing to get what he wants. You could do it, and you could do a screw job and what have you, and then you figure it out. But I think that at the end of the day will devalue what you built. And if they're spending all this time building up value, you're not going to devalue it at the end.
Oh, I completely agree with that. I'm just saying, though, that they've done it before. They have devalued shit before.
They've devalued it before, and it happened. But this is Roman Reigns winning with AJ Styles taking the pin.
Ooh, you're getting specific.
I think AJ takes the pin on this one because he's leaning more heel-ish of the bunch. You could have like LA Knight hit a move, LA Knight gets speared or RKO'd, Randy gets speared or something or taken out, and Roman spears AJ again and gets the win. Something like that. Where he takes 2 finishers to beat him.
Yeah. But I fully expect, depending on what happens in this match and what happens in the Men's Rumble, that all 3 of these men that are not Roman Reigns would end up in the Elimination Chamber. If it's a Raw person that wins.
If it's a Raw person that wins. If this match ends the night and the new member of the board doesn't show up in the 30-man, I can smell a Dwayne showing up at the end of the night to look him dead in the eye, going, me want you, point to sign.
Sign point.
Bingo. There's your end of Royal Rumble. I can see that.
Let's talk.
I could see that being your closure, whether he's in the Rumble or not. And if Dwayne has signed the paperwork to do it, yes.
The drinking game, it does start this weekend.
Would that seem like entitlement? Yes, but doesn't mean he won't say he would have to earn it. I'm just saying they could have him declare that he wants. Doesn't mean that's how you get there. I'm just saying they could have this showdown to end the night. Again,
but here's the thing.
Possible.
Anything's possible, but here's the thing. He's The Rock. Can you really look at The Rock and say, oh, hey, by the way, you need to earn it, especially with the news we talked about earlier with him now on the board of the company. He's literally your fucking boss, in a sense.
Well, Dwayne's on the board. Rock.
Yes. No, he owns the name. It's The Rock. Don't argue semantics with me.
doing person and character. You know.
They'll tie the two together. The point is does Roman really have the right to look at Dwayne and say, you need to earn this? Because Dwayne can turn that right back around and be like, motherfucker, I gave you this. All of this. I walked so you could run. There would be no me, or there would be no you without me.
Again, this is all depending if Dwayne...
Yeah, if Dwayne does it.
...is doing 40. Because that, no one knows for sure if Dwayne is doing 40 or 41. No one knows.
An interesting thing, too, with it, though, is that Dwayne could be like, no, I'm not going to wrestle you here, but I'm going to be the backup for somebody.
You'd also put Dwayne as the ref at Mania.
You could do that, too.
You put Dwayne as the ref, you do the 1-year build to Roman and Dwayne. So you could finish the story, put Dwayne in there, and that make everyone happy, and then you build to Dwayne next year. It's possible.
Yeah, because as we said before with Dwayne, the title doesn't need to be involved. It doesn't need to be there.
It doesn't. It can be. It can be. But okay, for Dwayne being a part of WrestleMania, while 41's cool, 40's a number. Like 41's a number, but 40 is a number. Like it's a milestone number. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
To be a part of the biggest WrestleMania of all time and doing all these things, it's a way to like. I was part of the biggest WrestleMania 40. 2 nights, 60, 70,000 people per night doing something big. It's possible, but I don't know. Anyway, we can continue that part of the discussion at this point because I want to move on because we can tie it into the Rumbles.
So let's go ahead
and make it official.
Yeah, let's just go ahead. Let's do the men's Rumble now. Let's talk about it.
No, we got to do the thing. So Roman retains. Yes.
Oh, yes. Roman, LOL, Roman wins.
Roman Reigns wins. 8-ball, Roman win? Very doubtful. 8-ball, AJ win? AJ Styles for the 8-ball. Wheel. I think you guys hear this now.
Wrestler 2.
Who's Wrestler 2?
Randy Orton. Randall Orton. I mean, they like I said earlier, they could. There's some names in this match. They could do it because Randy could carry the title in and AJ could carry the title in. Like, they could do it.
They could do it. Heard, not this, because it's probably too low for the spin. But anyway, the name, that's all that matters. So, continuing on to that discussion, does Dwayne appear in this Rumble?
It's hard to say. Now, for the men, because we're going to start with the men since we're talking about, I will say that for the announced talent, it is overwhelmingly red. Where you have Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Shinsuke Nakamura, Drew McIntyre, Gunther, Kofi Kingston, and Damian Priest all announced for Raw, and you have one singular SmackDown person announced in Bobby Lashley for the men. I don't want to say it's a sign, but I feel like they're telegraphing something here.
No. You could say the opposite, because if Cody wants it, he needs to win, so he would jump to SmackDown to fight it. So, there's that part.
And it would get Cody and Punk away from each other.
It would get Cody and Punk away from each other. Despite Sports Illustrated telling you that they're fighting at WrestleMania. It's no wonder Sports Illustrated shut it down. That was a mess this week. Talk about messes. Sports Illustrated was a mess.
Yeah, it didn't have good moments this week.
It's a thing.
It's worth pointing out that going into Mania with Roman potentially losing the title at Mania, because it is a very real possibility, unless they're going to take him all the way to September to surpass Hogan, which I can see them doing, but I also can't see them doing, because at some point you do have to move the title off of Roman. Roman will take the world's longest vacation, and he may not come back. We don't know yet. So it makes complete sense for Cody to win the Rumble, challenge Roman at WrestleMania, and he takes the title off of Roman, becomes the face of SmackDown, because then USA gets to keep Cody Rhodes as they head into the TV deal, and Roman goes and does whatever Roman does, which also plays into your theory, doesn't it?
It does, which we'll get to in a second. I want to get through some names before we get to the reason why Cody Rhodes could win.
Okay.
If history plays part. Right now on WildTalkRadio.com, there's a written article for dishing it out for the men's Royal Rumble prediction order and for the women's. And I speculate some names and stuff. One of the names is, as of today, was going to be Brock Lesnar. I don't.
Not anymore.
I don't see. I thought it was going to be Brock. We thought Brock and Gunther was going to be a thing, and it still could be, because again, he's not involved in a legal issue. He's just happened to be there. So that may put that a stoppage on that for the moment. But I thought we were going to see Brock return. I think the plan was for Brock to return this Saturday at the Royal Rumble as a surprise. We talked about The Rock and how there's a possibility he could enter the Royal Rumble, come in towards the tail end and sort of throw a couple people out, and he earns his way to WrestleMania. I'll talk about that back-to-backs in a second, man. There's also legends. X-Pac denied he's coming in, but you never know. We'll see a legend or two in this thing. And Do Man may even possibly show up and appear in the Royal Rumble. It's all possible. These are names you could possibly see. Now, since it was brought up in chat, here's the reason why, if Cody Rhodes were to win the Royal Rumble, he will win WrestleMania. There are 3 men in history who have won the Royal Rumble back-to-back. Their names are Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels. Hulk Hogan, when he won the Royal Rumble the first time, was the WWF champion. He won the Rumble, but he lost at WrestleMania 6 to the Ultimate Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk Hogan would win the 1991 Royal Rumble and then win the championship at WrestleMania 7. Shawn Michaels before the Boyhood Dream won at number 1 in 1995 and went on to WrestleMania. He lost to Big Daddy Cool Diesel for the WWF title. He then cashed in and won the 1996 Royal Rumble and then won at WrestleMania 12 in the Boyhood Dream. And then Steve Austin won the 1997 Royal Rumble. He would lose in your house, whatever it was, because Brett threw him out. But anyway, he won that Rumble. He would also lose the title match, and he also lost at WrestleMania. He came back the following year, won the 98 Royal Rumble, and won the WrestleMania 14. Cody lost last year, won the Rumble last year, and then lost at WrestleMania. So if history and the trend continues, Cody wins the Rumble this year, he's guaranteed to win the title at WrestleMania. The story gets finished if Cody wins, based on WWE history. Unless they break history and he doesn't. But if history tells us anything, over 30-something Royal Rumbles, it's all about the numbers. Cody, if he wins the WrestleMania and finishes the story based on history. Again, they could change history and none of that happened, but we have the numbers that they didn't tell you. Exactly, it doesn't make any sense. And it's all right there in black and white, or in our case, red. But it's facts. Like, I heard a thing about 3 men in history won the Royal Rumble back-to-back and went, yeah, but Austin lost, and then Hogan and Shawn lost. I remember all these. Like, they all lost at the WrestleMania. It's history. It's right there at your fingertips. On your WWE networks while you have it. Yeah, that said, I'm not sure Cody wins the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, they're doing a really, really, really wonderful job with the men in particular about not telegraphing who's going to win. Like, in years past, we always generally know who's going to win. This year, just based on the names announced and who's potentially going to come in, there's a very real possibility that Cody Rhodes may not win. It could be Punk. It could be Gunther.
It could be Gunther. Yeah. Could be
It could be somebody. It could be Dwayne. It could be somebody from SmackDown. Like,
yeah,
we don't.
I think someone from SmackDown is a very not real possibility, but it's okay.
Yeah. Hey, look, you have to give them their chance, okay?
I know. You have to give them their chance. But it boils down to me. If Dwayne is going to do, it could be Tama Tonga. It could be Okada.
It could be Okada.
You just don't know. Could be Hulk Hogan, brother.
God, no. Please, God, no.
Limping down to the ring one more time, brother.
Hogan has no business wrestling in.
Especially right now with everything going on. Hogan should stay far away from a Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Yeah. People in glass houses should not throw stones. I'm looking at somebody in particular.
So,
just saying.
Punk competes in the Chamber match now since he's scheduled to appear in it. I mean, it's possible Punk goes and fights in the Chamber, or Punk wins the Rumble. Because Cody could go in and fight in the Chamber and have to earn his way back to finishing his story. Put one more roadblock in, then he has to beat 5 men in the Elimination Chamber because he fell short in the Royal Rumble.
I think the X factor in all of this is honestly Seth Rollins and what is going on with Seth Rollins and his title. Because there has been a wrench thrown in the plan in the fact that Seth has basically fucked his knee. And they are trying to figure out what to do with that.
He says he could be back in 4 to 6 weeks.
He says that, but that's a gamble at best, because 4 to 6 weeks puts him at the beginning of March. And that's if he doesn't need surgery. If he needs surgery,
he's avoiding the surgery.
He's trying to avoid the surgery, but it may not be avoidable. Like, that's the really key thing. They're going to try to get him ready for Mania, and I imagine that's him as much as they possibly can. But ultimately, it all depends on how it heals, and it all depends on how ready he can be in time.
Yeah, and Rollins wants to have a match or two before WrestleMania just so he's not cold. I get that. But it all depends on how he heals.
Yeah. Like, for me, if I'm Hunter, like, I get that's what Seth wants, but at the same time, you're coming off of a tear in your knee. All it takes is one match to undo everything you've just done.
Yeah, it takes one match, it takes one little slip up, and
so it's like done. If I'm Hunter and it's like, this is what we're going for, I'd look at Seth and be like, no, we're not doing that. No. You're not hitting the ring until Mania. End of discussion. If you want to make WrestleMania. Like, I'm honestly kind of surprised they did not take the title off Seth.
I am, and I'm not. If he says he can be ready in 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, they're going to keep it on him, and they can always change the plan after that. The Punk card is an interesting card because he cut that promo on AEW telling MJF, who, hey, what if he's number 30 or number 3, and MJF is in the Royal Rumble?
Imagine MJF eliminates Punk.
I mean, if the first month of the year has told us anything is possible.
But MJF's hurt bad.
Again, he can suck it up, tape it up, run and throw someone out at 30, and take one more bump, and be done. I don't know if he's under contract. I'm just giving you, it's just speculation. No one knows anything about MJF officially. In theory, he's signed. He's
signed. Yeah, but in reality, nobody knows the answer because his contract expired December 31st, 2023. And as of January 1st of this year, he is a free agent. He's been removed from the AEW website, but all of that could be a sell, that he's no longer there regarding the Adam Cole storyline and everything that they did with the Devil at the end of the year. Yeah, because with Adam Cole being hurt and MJF being hurt, they can buy themselves a little time.
Yeah, I don't expect MJF in the Rumble, but it's just giving wild theory if it happens. You heard it here. And he wouldn't win the Royal Rumble. But, wild theory, he could show up and then just...
But he could help Cody win.
He could help Cody win. He could. Anything is possible. Okada's contract is up January 31st. You can always make deals with other promotions since he's done with them to, hey, can he appear early? Money talks to buy out 3 days of a contract. Especially since he's officially wrapped up. Again, I don't expect Okada either, but again, anything is possible. But going back to CM Punk, he's come in and he cut that AEW promo, which is where I was going with it. He got the AEW promo about, hey, MJF, just go to WWE and you can win the Royal Rumble, go to WrestleMania. You can do that simple story or whatever he said. Now it's in Punk's hand that he could do the exact same thing. Show up in WWE, win the Royal Rumble, point at the sign, and head to WrestleMania. It's possible. It's all very possible. Do I think it happens? I'm not sure. Because I think it's Punk and Rollins, Cody and Roman as WrestleMania. But if it's Dwayne, Dwayne could be there. The fact that we don't know for sure yet makes me happy.
Yeah, I love that we don't know. As Matt's been saying in chat, Hunter has done this extremely well, where the winner is not being telegraphed. Nobody really knows. There's a bunch of wrenches been thrown into the plan. Like you said, the logical Cody and Roman. That's the logical thing where you take Cody all the way back to WrestleMania here. He goes through his redemption arc, basically, where he earns his spot, he earns his place, he pays his dues, he proves himself, and he shows that, yes, he's ready to be the champion, and, he's the cover star of 2K24.
Which comes out in March.
And, your cover boy, you want to make sure your cover boy's front and center. Yeah, but the thing is, you don't need to have Gunther win the Rumble to get to Rollins. He could win it Chamber.
But, okay, so I want to talk about the Gunther thing. Gunther Rollins would be a great match, and I want to see it. I really, really want to see it. But Gunther's the Intercontinental Champion, and now you're going back to, title versus title again, and I don't know if you want to go that route, and then Gunther dropping the title before WrestleMania just doesn't, I don't know. I kind of feel like that's not the right idea, having him drop the title at Elimination Chamber just to again be the number one contender for the world title kind of doesn't sit well. I think Gunther needs to drop the title first before he gets a world title shot. Dual champion, you're unified, undisputed, universal heavyweight champion of the world. Roman Reigns had 2 titles, and everyone you don't put with all the work you just did to rebuild the Intercontinental Championship as 300 something for whatever he's at.
Over a year
at this point.
It's now the Gunther gauge. It's not the Honkometer anymore. It's the Gunther gauge.
You don't do it for him to be Intercontinental Champion and World Champion, and the belt sort of becomes secondary. He can lose it at any time. He can lose it at WrestleMania. He can lose it at SummerSlam. It doesn't matter when Gunther loses the Intercontinental title. It shouldn't be where he loses the title in February and then fights for the world title in April. You need... rebuild's the wrong word, but that's kind of what you have to do. Once he loses the Intercontinental title, you have to put him back on the street. Before he gets to the world champion again.
The thing with Gunther is if he wins the title, you almost have him the IC title, and then they do some kind of tourney or whatever for it to get it back. Like, he never loses it, and that protects him and the title.
But that's a cheap way out.
But it's an easy way out. Like, you just have Adam Pearce come out and look at Gunther and be like, you can't have...
Yeah, but
for the integrity of the show, you can't have...
595 days. Yeah, you don't ruin that by dropping the belt like that. You can't.
I mean, you can, but you shouldn't.
You shouldn't do that. Because it'll be over close to 600, 700 days at that point. No, you can't. And him losing it early doesn't work.
I mean, honestly, I could see you pointing Gunther at somebody like for either Survivor Series or SummerSlam.
Yeah, like,
and that's when you start looking.
Have him drop the IC title at WrestleMania. Put him back on a mean streak.
Yeah.
And get them to SummerSlam. And give the match give people the match people wanted last year at SummerSlam. Thinking when Cody was going to win the Rumble and the World Title, or the Universal Title, and then Cody Gunther at SummerSlam, where you do Rollins and Gunther at SummerSlam. Not he has with his posse. Ha ha, Brent. Ha ha. Brent tries to be funny. I don't want to see Rollins cost him the Intercontinental title. With 700 days, 600 days, costing him the belt does just how they've portrayed Gunther, the sacredcy of the mat and whatever. He's gotta be pinned and clean for the belt.
I mean, you're bringing people up that could take Gunther, and you have Tyler Bate. They have history. You could do something there if you needed to. You have other people that you could put it on if you needed to.
I want to put Tyler Bate as the one to beat Gunther, but that's my opinion.
Why? The big strong boy? Why can't he beat Gunther? It would be a really fucking good match.
Because he's not built to fight him.
You could get him there.
You need 6 months to get him there.
Okay.
Well, you got February. You don't have time.
Fine, Peter Dune.
6 months. Because he's
you just have Pete Dunne like walk out, look at Gunther, and be like, "Bitch, slap, done."
They're tag team guys right now. It's gonna take a while. The story right now, there's one person take the power. It's Biggie. I don't think Biggie. I mean,
is he cleared? Did he get cleared?
I don't know if he's been cleared.
Because I heard maybe that wasn't gonna happen. Like, his neck isn't.
He said he's taking his time. And maybe that's him trying not to ruin the surprise for the Rumble. I mean...
I'd be here for it. Like, I'd be down for E. Yeah, according to Casey, there's no timeline.
Yeah, but, again, they're not publicly going to say anything if he's going to be a surprise. I don't know. Anyway, Anyway, go back to the Rumble. Who you got?
I'm going LOL Cody wins. It's the most logical sense that I can make of it without including Dwayne. Just because, personally, for me... Dwayne versus Roman would be a really good match, but Dwayne versus Roman does not need to include a title. So for me, it's LOL, Cody wins, he finishes the story, he wins the title at WrestleMania, and he goes on to be the cover boy for WWE. And you can do Roman and Dwayne the next year at WrestleMania or anywhere down the line if you need to. Because that's a money match waiting, because again, Roman is going to take a break after him if he loses the title at Mania. So yeah, I'm going LOL Cody wins. What about you?
If Dwayne is in it, Dwayne wins. I don't know if Dwayne's in it.
I can't count on him. I can't bank on him at this point. Like, if
you can't bank on him, and that's the problem.
Like, if there was more concrete evidence that he was going to do it, like he had, basically been on Raw more, then yeah.
But they keep name dropping him on Raw.
Well, yeah, because he's part of the company now. He's sitting on the board.
Well, but they've been talking about the story for 2 weeks on Raw, and they talked about it on SmackDown. they're keeping him in the know, and he even on First Take, he's like, there's a chance he's doing WrestleMania to be the biggest of all time. There's always a chance to do things, and that's, I'm not picking Dwayne. I can't pick Dwayne. He needs to get his cardio back, but he got 3 months to get cardio back. You're going Cody.
I can go Cody too.
Cody's logical. I laid out the story, how the story should finish. It's the only way to get him there. Punk winning is good. Punk winning is a good idea. Punk is the right choice if you want to go straight up Seth Rollins. If you want to do Seth Rollins, CM Punk, WrestleMania, him win the Royal Rumble, point of the sign, easy money, and then you tell the story about Cody trying to find his redemption arc that way.
You've already done that.
But you have. Cody has to find one more way, is what I'm saying. He has to find that one way to get to Roman. And the way to do that is you do go through the Elimination Chamber. So he has to qualify for the Elimination Chamber and go on and win that. So he has to go through 5 other men to do that.
But that's so convoluted.
It is but it's not convoluted because you're going to do the same thing for CM Punk. CM Punk would then have to go through the Elimination Chamber and beat 5 other men to get the shot at Seth Rollins. Either way, you can do that story for either one loses.
But it makes more sense to do it for Punk than it does for Cody, because it's like, for Cody, it's like, fuck, it's one more thing, right? Like, you could just do the really easy route and say, he's gonna win the Rumble. He's gonna go to WrestleMania. He's gonna challenge. Greatest road on this because he's been on this path since WrestleMania last year where he's been doing the hard times. And yes, Chamber makes it. He's already been, like, that's the thing. He's already been on this road. Like, it's one more thing with Cody, and where it's like, just finish the fucking story. Like, just do it. Pull the trigger. Everybody ready for it. With Punk would fill out basically sign with WWE, win the Royal Rumble title. LOL. Like, that's what Punk winning the Rumble would be. So it's like, for Punk, it's, well, yeah, you could win the Rumble and just go straight. Maybe you should just make a left turn and go into Elimination Chamber. Just, since you just came back and everything, maybe you should just do that.
Yeah, so Mans goes, I don't know how he would qualify to win for the championship on SmackDown. Again, you put 3 men from Raw, 3 men from SmackDown, and that's how you do it. It's a joint come to Jesus between Pierce and Aldis, because neither one owns the SmackDown, the Chamber match. You're just determining whoever the next runner up.
But why would you put 3 guys in from Raw if the Raw champion's already been challenged?
Because look at the SmackDown roster. Look at the SmackDown roster. You need some people. And it's not like it hasn't happened. Cody winning the chamber makes it hard times. Yes. Somebody tells me Punk would veto a chamber match. I don't think so. I don't think he would.
Depends on how hard he wants to work.
Because you go in at number 6 in the chamber and you're fine. Shawn did it after being off for 4 years. So, Cody. Let's go Cody. Yeah, screw it. Cody wins. 8-Ball. Punk win? Very doubtful. Magic 8-Ball. Does Gunther win? Nope. 8-Ball. Does Cody win? Not so good. 8-Ball, The Rock win? Most likely.
Oh, okay.
8-Ball has the Dwayne wheel.
13.
Number 13 in the Royal Rumble.
Whoever that may be.
Whoever that may be wins the men's Royal Rumble. I think Brent has number 13. I think Brent has 13, so, Brent, you and the wheel.
You're up.
Teammates again.
All right. Flipping it over to the women. We have 4 names announced. 2 Raw, 2 SmackDown. We have Bayley, Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, and Bianca Belair.
And apparently Maxine Dupree.
Oh, okay. Then it's 5 names. She hasn't been added.
And Wiki had her, and then Wiki took her off, and then I don't know if Wiki got her back at her or not.
She's not back on Wiki.
Here's the weird thing, Brent, because Brent said Alpha Academy was entered. They were there. They weren't there when I put together the dishing it out. Next day, they were there. Then they're not again. Wiki can't make up whether they're in or not. So, anyway, remember, dishing it out. The women's Rumble as well. It's available at wildtalkradio.com. Click the button at the top that says dishing it out. You can get the article. Or check Twitter for links. Ding. Okay, so my questions for this one are very simple. Do we see Jade Cargill in this match?
We could. She's been working hard. She's been making strides.
She has been, and putting her in this match would be good. But you have to give her a hell of a performance to do so. You have to put her in in the middle, have her eliminate 6 or 7 people, and then have whoever it is, Bianca, I think, throw her out and start the feud between Bianca and Jade. If that's the match you're going to do at WrestleMania, because if you're doing a WrestleMania match, I'd do Bianca and Jade because that would make the most sense in terms of quality match you can put together. Because I don't have a match from Bianca yet, because I don't expect her to be challenging for either title at this point.
No.
In terms of surprises, we talked long and hard about CM. What about AJ?
She could. It's entirely plausible. Although she's kind of come out and been, but that's what everybody does this time of year.
I mean, Michelle McCool last year said, "Yeah, I didn't even know I wasn't asked to be in it," and they sold the story of, "Oh, she wasn't asked, but how she just so happened to be in gear and was sitting in the crowd and comes into the Royal Rumble." So anything is possible. I would pop to see AJ come back, have a little run, eliminate 1 or 2 people, and it would be a pop for the crowd. There's a lot of women on this roster. They've announced 4 or 5 people, whatever. But there are a lot of women on this roster that you kind of have to put in there and go, huh? Because you got your Tegan Noxes, your Natalias, your Shayna Baszlers, your Zoe Starks, your Asukas, your Kairi Sanes. You got Alba Fires, your KCs, your Isla Dawns. You got all these women who could get in this match and have a stellar show. You got people in NXT that could come up, like a Blair Davenport or a Tiffany Stratton that could have a run in this match. I wouldn't surprise me to see Trish make another return. But I think we've played the Trish card. We've played the Lita card already.
Yeah.
I think we saved the card because Trish is technically still on the Raw roster on their website. So I could see them playing the card, but I don't do it. Y'all think Sasha returns or going elsewhere? If Sasha shows up at the Royal Rumble, something happened apparently. Because she's supposedly going with Tony when she's healthy.
All depends on how much money they're willing to pay her.
Everything is he's put up the Monet for her. So We'll see. But if she's in the Rumble, then that's a story because WWE didn't want to pay her, and unless she had a falling out with Tony, that would be surprising. So I don't expect Sasha to be in the Rumble. But you got plenty of girls to fill the gap and have a good match. We're gonna probably see Raquel come back. We're gonna probably see Liv come back. I have Liv coming in towards the end. I think 30, just as because she's a former women's world champion, so it's she's a name to come out because you've done a lot with her and built her up. Where her coming out at 30 would be a pop because we haven't seen her in a minute. So I heard she's gonna be in town, but she's ACL, right? That was June, July for her.
Yeah, that's a little close.
She
could be there.
That's 6-7 months. I mean, if it was earlier than that, then yeah. But if it's 7 months, that's impressive. That she come in and work the Rumble. It wouldn't surprise me. She was a head name in my head before I heard the rumors of her possibly coming back. But I was I heard the time. I was trying to do the time. I was June, July. It's fast. But unless the ACL wasn't as fully torn, I don't know. But she just got married too, so maybe she's on honeymoon. I don't know.
I think the question is,
there are 2 names.
Is it Raw? Yeah, it's is it Raw or is it SmackDown? Because if Cody wins for Raw, then it's got to be a SmackDown woman that wins, just for balance. I'm not saying it couldn't be a Raw person, but
it doesn't really matter at this point. But there are 2 names. It's Bayley and it's Becky. Those are your 2 matches. Bayley has said she's going to challenge Rhea. Becky has said she's going to challenge Rhea. Only one of them can get Rhea.
I'll take Rhea, but in a different context. I do agree with Matt. Bayley needs the win.
Bayley needs something.
Bayley's earned it.
Yeah. the longevity. This is something she's worked for, and you could tell a good story of Bayley does not right away choose Io or Rhea. She makes she makes you wait and drag it out, and you drag it out to Chamber because you're gonna have to make the women's chamber for something. And I think Becky's winning the women's chamber to get to Rhea.
Yeah.
I think that's her hard times. Because I think it's Nia and Rhea in your main event at Chamber, because Rhea's got to be in the main event.
Yeah.
For all the talk, all right, tangent. For all the talk of everyone wants to see Dwayne and Roman in Australia. Mm-hmm. No, Rhea Ripley's in the main event in Australia. It's Rhea Ripley's earned spot. She's their biggest star. She should be in the main event of that show. And Nia would be the right opponent because Nia's the big heel against Rhea, the hometown hero. That's an easy story, an easy win for Nia, or an easy win for Rhea over Nia at Chamber. Because you could say you're too scared. I'll fight you in Australia, the Elimination Chamber in my hometown, yada yada yada. And you set the match up. It's easy. Nia gets her match, and whatnot, because she could be the one that threw Becky out or whatever it is. But Rhea's in the main event of that show. This should be Bayley's match. Could I see Becky winning? Yes, but she would buck the trend of winning. She shouldn't win. She shouldn't win 2 Rumbles. She doesn't need it. Becky doesn't need to win the Rumble to get to Mania. She can get to Mania elsewhere. And because they've told the story of she needs to beat Rhea to prove that she is still the man, you have to make her work for it. And her losing in the Royal Rumble makes her work harder to get to Rhea and finding her way. And she talks her way into the Chamber and gets a spot in there and gets to fight for a championship match. There's ways to do it, and it makes sense. So Becky would win Chamber. Bayley needs to win the Rumble. And I think at the end of the day, that's what you do. Because I think Damage Control wins the tag titles tomorrow. You would have Io with the title. Bayley needs something. Bayley winning the Rumble gets her sort of back in the line of Damage Control. And with everything they're playing out with Damage Control, it works out that way. Another name I just remembered who could be in the Rumble. It's Glow Time.
She did finish up with TNA.
She's finished up with TNA, even though she'll be still appearing on TNA TV for a few more weeks. I think this ACL stuff, Dakota's
iffy.
Probably a month or 2 away. I think you don't push it with her. I think you wait till she's fully healthy in a month.
I would say this: if Naomi does return, that does help WWE's cause with Sasha. I'm not saying that's going to bring her back, but if Naomi is building the bridge back over the fence to WWE, that may help bring Sasha in. And that may be one of the deciding factors. Like, maybe they up their offer and they're like, well, your girl's coming back. What about you?
I think I don't think that's going to play a factor, because Bayley would be the factor. If
but
anyone
Bayley's
could get,
also there.
But Bayley would be the one to get her back if she won it back for the right amount.
How long is Sasha till she's ready?
I don't know.
Because the way you could do it is you have Bayley win the Rumble, you have Bayley challenge Io, she wins the title, and then you do the classic night after WrestleMania, Sasha walks out and looks at Bayley and she's like, what about it?
Again, I don't think Sasha's coming back.
I know. I'm just throwing it out there, but in terms of a winner, I think Becky has to work for it. Bayley, I would agree, has worked and earned her spot. She deserves it. And you can really draw out her making the decision on where she wants to go, right?
You got a couple
weeks.
You got a couple weeks because you got to get the Chamber together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could do it like the SmackDown before Chamber, or even at Chamber, where it's like Bayley's like, well, I'm going to challenge for the title, however you want to say it. And Rhea and Bayley could both be in the ring with her, and she just turns and she looks at Io, or not Rhea and Bayley, Rhea and Io. And she turns, looks at Io, and says, "Let's go."
I think you got a week or two because you don't have all the time because of the Chamber match.
But you could do it before it.
You could do it a week before it, but you don't have that much time. Anyway, You got Bailey?
I got Bailey. I'm gonna go with Bailey.
I gotta go Bailey. I think it's her time. It's one she's earned. She deserves. All right. Magic 8 Ball. Does Becky win? I look not so good. 8 Ball, does Nia Jax win? Better not tell me. 8 Ball, does Bailey win? All signs point to yes. Wheel.
9.
Number
Wrestler
9.
So Matt.
There you go. But that's the Royal Rumble.
And you got stuff to plug, so plug away.
Tomorrow night, right after SmackDown, we'll be live here at twitch.tv/WTI with WWE 2K23 simulations. So if you want to know who actually wins the Royal Rumble, it's WWE 2K23 is going to tell you. Tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern. And then who actually wins, we'll talk about it Saturday, right after the show ends, when the Rack Extra reviews the Royal Rumble. Right after the show. Sunday, they'll recap everything again, 10 p.m. Eastern on WTR Sunday Wrestle Talk Radio. Monday, it's the Raw Post Show, 11 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back next Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, to talk NXT Vengeance Day, which comes up a week from Saturday on the WWE Network on the Peacock. So we'll preview that in a mini preview next week on the show. It's Rack Radio Show on all social media platforms, wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's YouTube Music, Stitcher, Amazon Music, or Apple Podcasts. Just search the Rack Radio Show. It's Rack Radio Show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You name it, it is there. It's at Wild Talk Radio on Twitter, Facebook.com/Wild Talk Radio Network chat. If you have Amazon Prime, link it to your Twitch account. It's called Prime Gaming. Support the channel by clicking the purple rectangular button below the screen. You can also use credit code ROCK'n'SOCK or
Lindsey Ward
in the Fortnite item shop when you buy things and stuff and emotes and Rogue or something. Raiden. Raiden is the new skin in the shop. He's from Metal Gear? Yeah, Metal Gear.
I have no idea.
Buy it because we are #
at Big Partners. You can follow me on most of the social media. You can check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/LindseyWard, where I stream Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. We're getting 4.4 new.
You're kind of breaking up.
I can't help that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, your connection's kind of breaking up a little bit. Sorry. Continue.
Anyway, you can follow me on Twitter at LindsWard, LWD. You can follow me on YouTube, youtube.com/@LindsWard. And you can follow me over on TikTok, LindsWard0. And while you're liking and subscribing and following and doing all the things, you can also check out MBG Films, youtube.com/MBG1211. So for Rock, I'm Lindsey Ward. We will see you tomorrow for more Royal Rumble stuff. So till then, bye!